Hello everyone, I'm your car enthusiast friend Xiongzai. Today I've come to TS Motorcycles, which is also the Guizhou dealer for gentlemen. Here they have what might be the only 703 single R street bike test ride vehicle in the province. First, let's take a look at the bike's static riding posture. I'm 1.78 meters tall and weigh 68 kilograms. Sitting on it, both of my feet can touch the ground completely without any pressure. However, because its double cradle aluminum alloy frame is relatively wide and extends outward, I feel my hips are pushed out a bit. As for the handlebar position in front, it doesn't feel very far away, since both sides are swept back a bit so your body feels relatively centered. But the angle is quite low. The main handlebar rod in front doesn't rise upward at all. Unlike many street bikes that have handlebars angled upward, this one is completely flat, so when you sit on it, it doesn't feel much higher than those so-called street sport bikes. Among street bikes, its handlebar angle is actually relatively low and downward. The foot peg position is relatively central, but it's higher than most street bikes. So the overall posture is centered and a bit elevated. You can see here straddling the bike, this is roughly the posture you get. It doesn't have that super tense, sporty feel, but compared to more relaxed, casual street bikes, it does have a bit more of a sporty vibe. All right, now let's take a look at the display and turn on the instrument panel. The power switch on the car is quite good, and the overall resolution and smoothness are quite good. The entire UI design is similar to the 703R, which is a relatively good-looking UI. It is also a relatively common solution now. There is a speed and gear display, an oil pointer, and an oil level indicator to show that there is not much oil left. The front and rear tire pressures are very standard, as well as the temperature and tire temperature. Now let's take a look at the overall appearance design of this car. To be honest, the appearance of this car is really good looking. If you put it directly here like this, the gentleman should have the most radical overall lines. Some people say that this appearance is a copy of the Kawasaki. In fact, it is not, because this set of styling actually has a lot of the 350. That single-cylinder street car already had it. When the 350 single-cylinder street car came out, the single swing arm really made the overall appearance very beautiful. But it was a pity that the car did not have a good frame and engine. Now, the 703 single R has made up for its past shortcomings in terms of its core frame and engine. Now, this car is very complete. First, let's take a look at the design of the entire front of the car. The entire front design basically continues the style of the previous 350. There are some changes, but the style is basically the same. There are two LED lights on the upper and lower front, and then a daytime running light. Its main light is at the bottom. It has a design like this. From a distance, it looks like the shadow of two people. It's extremely aggressive and radical, and then, in this area above, just below the instrument panel, unlike many street bikes that add a small windscreen here for decoration, this one doesn't have that. It's completely exposed on the outside. This design is very reminiscent of KTM. It's a very bold and confident way of handling the overall lines. The overall effect actually looks pretty good. Moving to the side, you can see its very forward extending wing fairings. Although these wing fairings extend forward, they don't cover the frame at all. Take a look at this black part. It's entirely the twin beam aluminum alloy frame. On other models, wing fairings are often used to hide the relatively slender frame, but this twin beam aluminum alloy frame is very robust and visually impressive, so there's no need to cover it up. Instead, it should be shown off. Look here at the front. There's a turn signal integrated into the side panel. The fuel tank on this bike is different from the 703 Twin 2. It's been newly molded. If you tap on the top, it's plastic, while the bottom is metal. The tank has been narrowed inward a lot, and you can clearly see that when you sit on it, both the tank and the seat are as narrow as possible to make it easier for your feet to reach the ground. As for the tail, it's actually quite similar to the 703 Twin 2. Not much difference, both have a split seat design, as you can see. The tail light section at the back features a very pronounced upturned tail. This tail is both high and sharp, giving it a very aggressive look. And besides the main central brake light, in addition to the headlights, two width lights are added on the left and right sides. Then there is something about the configuration of this car. This car uses an inline 3-cylinder engine with a precise displacement of 699 cubic centimeters. Its overall engine tuning is actually the same as the 703R. Its maximum horsepower is 102 horsepower. The maximum power speed is 11,200 revolutions per minute, and the maximum torque is 74.5 Newton meters. The overall power parameters are exactly the same as the 703R. Then this is a version with Nissin calipers. It also has another high-end version, which is equipped with glass wave calipers. Let's take a look at it. The front double-stack disc and the caliper are Nissin. The shock absorbers are the same. Both high and low versions are the same, and they are all fully adjustable shock absorbers of the Mazu series. You can see that the swirls on the shock absorber adjustment are on both sides, and the upper pump above is also Nissin. It's a round oil can, which looks very beautiful. The configuration is the same as that of the 703RR. It also has a Nishito version with a line. Then the front and rear tires of this car were affected by the problem of the Michelin supplier. At that time, Shenchi issued a notice because the supplier's series was going to be discontinued, so this time it was replaced with Chengxin S3N. And the overall grip is actually the first tier among these street semi-day tires. So you don't have to worry about the grip being reduced or the pressure being lowered after changing.
The engine parameters of this 703R2 are exactly the same as those of the racing version, but the overall weight of the car is lighter. In addition, I guess its entire power curve is optimized, so in fact, after you open the throttle, the power feedback given by the engine is smoother and faster than the racing version. I said before that the racing version will be a bit rushing at low speeds, but the street car can basically be said to be relatively smooth. Including the previous racing version had an obvious resonance problem around 4,000 RPM, the street car basically can't feel it. There is still a more obvious bump when you reduce the throttle in first and second gears, but there is no such problem in third gear. Compared with the previous racing version that was a bit difficult to use, the throttle control is already greatly improved. The output curve is still biased towards medium and high speed efficiency. The power performance before 6,000 RPM is also good, but at 6,000 RPM there is a more obvious explosive sound that is more high pitched. You can clearly feel that the power of the engine has been taken a step up, making you want to push the throttle harder to maintain this power output momentum. However, when it comes to road driving, safety comes first, and in terms of handling, this car is basically a racing bike without its shell. The frame is really great, light, rigid, and has a good feel for entering and exiting corners. The whole car is very complete. Moreover, after changing the handlebars, the overall handling feels more flexible and controllable than the racing bike. The initial toughness is also good, which can help you hold the body of the car steadily when cornering. However, if there are relatively large potholes and bumps, you can still clearly feel that the rear acceleration of the shock absorber is actually a bit stiff, but it is normal for a sports street car to be stiff. So in general, this 703R2 is the best performance of the Gentleman's 3-cylinder platform at present. It has inherited most of the advantages of the racing bike and modified the biggest throttle adjustment and vibration deficiencies. If you are struggling to choose between the Gentleman's street car and the racing bike, I personally prefer the street car version. If you think this video is okay, you might as well like and follow it. Your support is my biggest motivation for updating. I am everyone's good friend who plays cars. See you next time. Climb! Climb! Hurry up and climb!